Welcome back to Personal Growth TV. I am Gary Burton, the host and presenter of this channel. Please remember to subscribe and share the link so that others can be benefited from this channel. I am convinced that most people who commit themselves to significant relationships do not understand the word or concept of partnership. So let us embark into this enchanting and sometimes perplexing topic of building partnership in committed relationships. The question is asked, how do I do this? Yes, very important question, and so we will explore that in details. But first, let me set the stage by telling you a funny story. I hope you like this one. One day my partner and I decided to build a bookshelf together. Well, the building of this bookshelf turned out to be the battle of the IKEA instructions. Let us see what really happened. So as we worked together, I connected piece A to piece B, but she was convinced that piece A was actually a coat hanger. What a dilemma. Let us hear what happened next. Long story short, we ended up with a bookshelf that looks more like some modern art. It is essential that both people understand the concept of partnership and play their individual role in this regard for the success of such relationship. So let us look at how you can become the best partner possible in your relationship, starting this journey today. There are several steps to follow, and let us begin with number 1. First principle in building partnership in your relationship is honest and open communication. It is vital that you are able to share your feelings and thoughts regularly. As you take this communication stance in the relationship, it is very important to listen actively without interrupting. And while you are doing that, address issues directly rather than letting them fester, because this is key in the matter of communication, that issues are dealt with on a timely basis. With that said, let us move on to the second principle in building partnership in a relationship. A second way by which you build partnership is by showing appreciation, and this must be done on a regular basis. Learn to compliment sincerely and often. In that way, you take nothing for granted. It is sad when you hear one person in the relationship says, "The only time I get a comment is when there is something negative." For instance, when there's a meal prepared that you appreciate, you never say thank you. But if something goes wrong in the kitchen, then that's the day you speak, and that is never good enough. Always show gratitude. It is said, you do not have the license to criticize unless you learn to compliment. 2 practical things you can do to show appreciation are leaving notes and sending messages of appreciation. The third principle for building strong partnership in your relationship is to support your partner's goals and dreams. In order to do this effectively, you must be knowledgeable of your partner's dreams and aspirations and encourage their accomplishments. This means that communication needs to go beyond the surface and really listen to the heart of the person. Most times we listen to words but not heart, and it's important to hear what the person is saying and what they are not saying, because they are speaking to you in many ways. So look at the person's heart and what they feel deep down as they express themselves. As you grow in this regard, you can offer yourself to be an accountability partner to your partner, and you do this in a loving way, and a way that challenges them to pursue their goals and dreams, and especially in times when they are feeling demotivated or discouraged. Be there for them. Remind them of those goals. Remind them of your partnership. Remind them of your commitment to stand with them through everything. Of course, this calls for a measure of healthy self-esteem and an unselfish attitude on your part, because without these you cannot truly celebrate your partner's victory. Let us now turn our attention to the fourth principle by which you can build partnership in your relationship. This fourth principle involves spending quality time together. This is important because quality time reinforces your connection and keeps the relationship vibrant. In all of this, keep in mind that time spent together is never wasted. Even if you are not talking or involved in a certain activity, but just being around each other is a way to bond. That's why it is said, be careful who you spend time with, because you might become like them. Sufficing to say, the more time you spend together, the more you will know each other. And the more you know and understand each other, is the deeper your bond will grow. So yes, that time together will bring great benefit to the growth of your partnership. Time spent together is never wasted. Some practical things you can do to accomplish this principle are: 1. Go on regular dates. Dates can be inexpensive or even cost-free if they are creatively planned. The important thing is to do them regularly and in a committed way. In other words, when you go with your mind, body, and spirit. Commit yourself to the moment. Doesn't have to be long. The important thing here to remember is that you learn to spend quality time together. Another thing you can do to spend time together is to find hobbies and activities that you both enjoy and do them together. These activities and hobbies can unplug you from technology and give you the opportunity to focus on each other instead. And while you're doing that, you're actually building your partnership. Some activities to consider include, but are not limited to, reading a good book together. And you can do it chapter by chapter, each evening or each date night, or each time you're spending together, you read a chapter of that book. You can listen music together. And of course, you can do nature walks together. And listening music together can be a fun time because you can share your type of music and maybe listen music on YouTube or some kind of social media and exchange, take turn in playing your favorite hits. That leads us to our fifth principle in building partnership in a committed relationship. And this is done by showing respect to each other's independence. Healthy relationships find a balance between togetherness and personal space and time. It cannot be overemphasized that although you are a couple or partners, it's very important to remember that you are also individuals. This alone time is also a time for introspection, reflection, and meditation, or just to enjoy your personal sanctuary. Do not think it is unhealthy to be alone at times. You must learn to enjoy your own presence. Learn to enjoy your own space. And this is very important. A sixth principle in which you can build partnership in a committed relationship is by showing affection. Affection can be physical touch. Affectionate gesture strengthens emotional bonds. So it's very important to understand that you are both affectionate, and indeed those needs for affection should be met in that relationship. Because of this, you need to always be attentive to their need for affection and avoid the tendency of showing affection only when you need affection and attention, because this indeed is selfishness. And where there's the root of selfishness that is watered and nurtured, it will grossly affect the relationship and the partnership. The seventh principle that builds partnership in a committed relationship is handling conflicts with maturity. When conflicts are constructively resolved, they keep the relationship healthy and growing. So do not be afraid of conflicts. They will come. It is said once you put two persons together, a conflict begins. Conflicts can be growth opportunities depending on how they are treated when they occur. So remember also to focus on finding solutions rather than winning an argument. And this here can be a very tricky point because most of us like to walk away looking like the good guy while the other person looks like the villain. It's important to understand that we are not in here to win an argument. We really want to have a win-win where we both walk away and resolve the issue, knowing that we have grown through it. This will call for the ability and willingness to apologize sincerely when you are wrong. And I remember someone said, you cannot be a man or a woman, or you are not a man or a woman until you learn to apologize, because this is a part of building any relationship and partnership. There will be times when you need to apologize. So once again, always take the responsibility for your contribution to the conflict and avoid the tendency to search for reasons to become defensive or to pass the blame to your partner. Remember, this is the mature thing to do. Once there's a conflict, both persons in some way or the other has contributed to that conflict. Therefore, you must be willing to own your part of the conflict. Yes, I did say that. Be willing to own your part of the conflict. Let us now turn our attention to principle number 8 for building partnership in your relationship. Principle number 8 is that you must be reliable and trustworthy. No relationship in any strata of society or on any level grows without reliability and trustworthiness. These are two principles that will be bedrock for a strong partnership. Consistency and reliability build a foundation of trust without which a relationship can stand. So therefore, these pillars are key to the success of your relationship. It is important that you do not demand or ask for trust in your relationship, but like respect and honor, trust must be earned. Trust cannot be built or earned if you are given reasons not to be trusted. Some people like to say, trust me no man, but at the end of the day, they are doing things for you not to trust them. So if you want to be trusted, you must first prove yourself to be trustworthy or worthy of trust. You can become trustworthy by simple things like keeping your word, keeping your promise. These things go a long way in building trust. Another way to build trust in your relationship is to remain transparent and accountable. When you're a lone ranger, you go where you want to go, when you want to go. Nobody knows where you are, what you're doing. Then that opens the door for questioning and as a result, the eroding of trust. Accountability and transparency helps to foster an environment where your partner can feel safe and secure, and as a result will grow in trust in you even more. Let us now turn to the 9th principle of building partnership in a committed relationship. This is by maintaining intimacy. Intimacy is crucial for a healthy relationship. In order to build intimacy, you must be willing to communicate openly about your desires and boundaries. Your expectations also should be communicated openly. It is very important that you have these discussions so that there's an understanding of what is expected and what the boundaries are. Do not leave this to chance. It is also important to make intimacy a priority even during busy times. It is easy to get caught up in the hustle and the bustle of life, the 9 to 5, and trying to pay the bills and make ends meet, that you forget each other, which is the reason why all of this is being done. This is the reason why you're even together. It's about each other. So do not jeopardize that for anything whatsoever. In order to keep things exciting, it's very important to experiment and explore each other's preference and keep things interesting. So it takes time and it takes a lot of work. Somebody says relationship is spelled W-O-R-K because you're always working to make it better. Do not get to the place where you are comfortable or to the place where you become complacent, but you're always making the effort to make it stronger and better. With that said, intimacy should never be taken for selfish reasons, but always keep in mind the needs of your partner. Many people yield to the temptation of making intimacy initiatives only when they are in need of that affection. The 10th and final principle in building partnership in a committed relationship is by growing together. Evolving together helps to maintain a strong connection over time. The longer you spend together, the more time you spend together, is the closer you will grow together. In order to do this, you must learn and adapt to the changing needs of your partner over time. Yes, those desires and needs will be changed, and you should be sensitive to those changes as they take place. And not only be sensitive, but be willing to adapt to those needs. Yes, because this is important. Sometimes for you to adopt, it's a lot of work, but the truth is, if you refuse to, then the relationship will not grow. The partnership will be weak. So this requires that you reflect on your relationship regularly and adjust as needed. Adjustment is critical to the growth of your partnership because, as I said earlier, with time we change. Don't be surprised about healthy or even challenging changes in your partner, but rather be deliberate and intentional in adjusting as needs be. With that said, let us conclude this presentation. There are many benefits of growing in partnership in your relationship. To start with, it deepens your emotional connection and builds trust. To grow in your partnership also causes you to experience greater satisfaction and joy in your life generally. Yes, a person with a fulfilling partnership at home will shine more at work. People around will see the difference, because if you're happy at home, it is generally said you'll be happy at work. Keep in mind that being an excellent partner involves continuous effort and empathy as well as commitment. If you find value in this video, please subscribe, like and share with others who might appreciate some excellent personal growth advice.